tall building called 311 South Wacker. That's actually the tallest concrete reinforced building in the United States. Of course, over to the right, at the extreme right, you've got Navy Pier over there with the large Ferris wheel. And then just to the left of that is Lake Point Tower. Okay. And then again, the Aon Center is the white building that looks like one of the World Trade Centers. Interesting a lot, if you look at the Aon Center, the building that looks like if you go 2 buildings to the left, you see a building that's got blue lettering on it. That is the Prudential building. The reason I want to point that out here is that from 1955 to 1969, the Prudential building was the tallest building in the city of Chicago. If you look at it now, it doesn't even register. There's probably over half a dozen buildings on your right that are taller than that, and easily a dozen buildings on your left. Penguins, the dolphins, the whales, and the sea lions. It basically has a diamond-type roof with a spire. That is Prudential 2. That building's about 20 years old. It's still related to the Prudential Insurance Company. It's like a flat. That's called the Smurfit Stone Container Building. And if you've ever seen the movie. Now, if you look over to the, you're going to see what is called Monroe Harbor. Monroe Harbor. In fact, it extends from the museum campus on down on our right. But the very this park, this is kind of neat. This is actually a park, but if you look further down here, it's a parking garage too. You got the public parking sign here. This is a good example of what the city of Chicago has done to help increase its green footprint throughout the city limits. The building on our left, I didn't get a chance to talk about that, but that warehouse that we were in, saw the Fox and Mobile Food Market, just over here on
Lalo, ajo hame. Dari same.
Water. Sitting in a chair. That is a bronze sculpture of Bob Newhart. And you might remember back in the 1970s, the Bob Newhart show. Dr. Brewer, feel free to go over there and give Dr. Hartley your problems. Okay, this is our Navy Pier stop. If you're interested in getting off, feel free to do so. We're going to stop here for a minute, and we're going to got a few people getting off. Okay, great. Thanks a lot. From about 1971 to now about 1990, mid-90s. Yeah, because the University of Illinois at Chicago had its campus here from the end of World War II until 1971. Getting sick from drinking unfiltered water, but again, it's not a spectacular building, but it's a building that merits. Along the Chicago River is where they have these wild onions. Again, just pungent smelling. That's where the Indians call this Chicago. I might be putting my emphasis on the wrong syllables and consonants. Now, if you look over to, I'm going to back up this. If you look over to the right, the corner of the pitchfork of this large sculpture of this is basically one of the newest additions into the magnificent It's obviously modeled after Grant Wood's American Gothic. It's actually titled itself as God Bless America. And it's been here since May of this year. It's been a very successful hit with everybody that comes by. The cars in the 50s and 60s had chrome and chrome-plated chrome. Well, basically that's what they used to construct the moose. And it doesn't look large from here, but trust me, that's a life-size moose. And if you've ever seen a moose, you'll have an appreciation. Now, this building over to our right, again, this is the tribute to Neil. Kind of what Colonel Robert McCormick's plan was basically to just generate interest in that building when it was constructed back in the 1920s. And that was one of the market plans. Because again, this is a hotel in Northsburg and Neiman Marcus. But we also have those such as the Apple Computer Store. Oh gosh, there's a Johnson & Murphy. Nike Town, Armories, there's a Corvus fly fishing store just over here to the right. Now, I live in Chicago, I fly fish, and I know that you don't go. Joliet limestone.
आने water tower क्या भाई? ये तो picture है.
You'll see this copper roof. Limestone and copper are fire resistant. A lot of the structures around here during the Chicago fire were made out of wood, including the sidewalks. Not fire resistant. Those buildings went away. Now what I understand about the pumping station is that it actually originally had a wooden roof. So the inside of that basically did catch fire and the inside was gutted, but the outside shell was not affected. Again, fire resistant material. In case you're wondering, the pumping station is still actively functioning in that capacity, but it also serves a couple other purposes. If you look over here on the near side of us, you see those wooden doors right there. That leads into a high-wall container and into the looking glass here. Nice long break, and he'll be joining us shortly. I hope you guys enjoyed my tour. Again, I'm going to be taking off right now. And, hope you guys have a pleasant stay in Chicago and enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Still here. તમને એવું લાગે યાર તમને બહુ મસ્ત હોય સમજુ છે તો વુડફિલ્ડ મોલમાં જઈએ ને તો એ રેન ફોરેસ્ટ જે ખરો કે આપણે અંદર ગ્રીનરી જેવું તો બાકી ડેવલપ ગ્રીનરી ના હોય બહુ મસ્ત આવે टाइगर
તમારે શું કરવાનું પછી?
બધી બોટ વાળી મળી
ના હા એવું ના ચાલે. એવું ઓધી કાઢ ના ચાલે યાર.
એકને ઊંઘ પાડું તો એકાવન આવીને હાજર થઈ જાય.
Today with Wonderfull's glorious ship. Also, this show has been close to 5 p.m. 5 p.m. half an hour, wherever we are at 5 p.m. That's where we're going to be starting our last loop. So wherever we are at 5, we're going to do a final loop around the city on the that split open in the middle as well. That's another thing that they pioneered. So, as we move along, if you look to your right of the Chicago River, you're actually going to be looking at the site of one of the greatest maritime tragedies in American history. It's known as the Eastland Disaster. Now, in 1915, what we're having, the boat actually got too top heavy and it flipped over, trapped and drowned pretty much everybody who was on the boat. This happened right over here. Now let's see what other lighthearted stories I have. Next we'll watch Terms of Endearment. That always brightens the mood. That'll be wonderful. Downtown, it was opened up by Samuel Insull. In the night that has an act of protest, he then designed this to look like a gigantic throne with its back to City Hall, which is about 3 blocks east of here. I'm sure that you'd recognize Samuel Insull if you saw him. You may not recognize his name, but he is actually one of the most recognizable faces in American